We call the junta to rescind the decision of them toppling a democratically elected government. We proceeded to impose sanctions with the hope that this resolute measure will serve as a catalyst for the restoration of the constitutional order in Niger.
Yup, that's Nigeria's President Bola Ahmed Tinubu dishing out punishment for Nigerians. And this is the youth of Niger trooping in to join the Nigerian army. And this is the Nigerian military reaction.
Le Conseil national pour la sauvegarde de la patrie rejette en bloc ces sanctions et refuse de céder à toute menace et d'où qu'elles viennent. Nous refusons toute ingérence dans les affaires intérieures du Niger.
Even though ECOWAS is roaring like a lion, they are about to fail woefully for the first time in Niger. Well, let me explain. This is Niger, a West African country that's been under chaos for about a month now because of the military coup and takeover. On 26th of July 2023, the presidential guard in Niger launched a coup and detained President Mohamed Bazoum and his family and took over the government, and all negotiation has been a flop to hand over power back to civilian rule and to release Mohamed Bazoum. According to the military, they are looking at a 3-year transition to civilian rule and a constitutional reform before the military handover. As expected, there were mixed reactions to this coup from different countries, but the most daring of them all is from Nigeria's president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. President Tinubu did not just place sanctions on Niger, he also closed all borders between Niger and Nigeria, cut all electricity supply from Nigeria to Niger, and in what could have turned chaotic, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu also applied for the Nigerian Senate to approve his ambition to invade Niger, but unfortunately, the Nigerian Senate turned down the request. To showcase his might, Tinubu turned to the ECOWAS, which he is the chairman of, and initiated an ECOWAS forces intervention in Niger. And as it stands now, the issue arising from the meeting in Ghana's capital, Accra, on Thursday, the ECOWAS defense chiefs said that they are prepared to reinstate democracy in Niger, and the ECOWAS joint forces are ready. And you might be wondering why these West African leaders are very much concerned over the coup. Well, here is why. But before that, if you are new to the channel, please do make sure you subscribe to our channel for more videos like this every day. It is simple. The ECOWAS leaders lack democratic values and credentials. These ECOWAS leaders are all facing accusations of human rights abuses, international crimes, or have ascended to power through flawed process and questionable academic qualification. And just look who is the chairman, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, a man who everything about his life is fake, his result, his age, and his source of wealth. It will be recalled that he got hold of power through an illegitimate election result, which were marred by all kinds of violence and electoral malpractice. And then is the 81-year-old Alassane Ouattara, the president of Ivory Coast, who amended the constitution of his country to extend his tenure as a president, and currently he is on his 3rd term as the president, negating the former Ivorian constitution, which allows a candidate only 2 terms in office. Similarly, Togo, Ghana and Benin Republic experiences a non-democratic perpetuation of government, and so does most of these West African states. The reason for the incessant coups in these West African states is because of the insecurity, corruption, and total negligence of the nation by the constitutionally elected government officials of these countries. So, the reason that the ECOWAS leaders are having sleepless nights over the coups happening in these countries is because they are afraid that the coup wagon might just visit their country anytime soon, especially the currently unstable Nigeria. For better understanding, the West African Regional Bloc during the summit of the heads of state and government in Abuja issued a 1-week ultimatum to the military junta in Niger, led by Abdurrahman Tishani, to relinquish power or face military intervention. The ultimatum has since expired, but the coup leaders appear to be consolidating their power, and after 2 failed negotiations, the junta refused and declared at least 3 years of military transition to civilian rule. In disagreement, ECOWAS is about to take the other lane, which is the use of force to restore democracy in Niger. But how successful will it be? Because as it stands now, the odds are all against them. Just in case you are still confused, here is why the ECOWAS forces are bound to fail if they invade Niger Republic. First off, the ECOWAS do not have the backing of AU, which is the African Union. Concerned about the increasing number of coups in West Africa, the African Union is trying to make its voice heard on the appropriate response to that of Niger.
Je m'associe à l'Union africaine au communiqué sorti par la communauté africaine pour condamner ce qui s'est passé au Niger.
The AU Peace and Security Council, which met on 14th of August, declared an opposition to the ECOWAS military intervention. In case you are wondering why this is an issue, well, here is why. ECOWAS is a subordinate organization to AU. ECOWAS is just the regional economic bloc with 15 member state countries in West Africa, while AU is the continental union of 55 member countries in Africa. So, how do you go against the agreement of a parent organization on no military intervention? For more understanding of the issue at hand, there are some AU member states like Algeria that are in support of the military junta in Niger. This could mean that a more divided African Union could be seen in future, those who are with Niger and those who are against them. Secondly, there is division between the ECOWAS member states. Out of the 15 member states of ECOWAS, only Nigeria, Ghana, Senegal and Cote d'Ivoire have already confirmed their participation in the force. Chad, which does not belong to ECOWAS but whose president, Mahamat Idris Deby, attempted mediation at the start of the coup, has announced that it will not participate. On the other side of the military junta are these three young bloods, Mamadi Doumbouya of Guinea, Assimi Goïta of Mali and Ibrahim Traoré of Burkina Faso. These three young bloods who took power through military coup has vowed that any attack on the military junta in Niger will be taken personal. In response to that, they have sent fighter jets and some army officials while waiting for ECOWAS. It will be recalled that these three countries are strong allies of Russia, and you know what that means. So, in regard to that, let's take a look at these ECOWAS member states that will go to war against Niger and see how capable they are. To start with is Nigeria. Nigeria, a country with 40% poverty rate, which is also the self-acclaimed giant of Africa. Nigeria has consistently been shortchanged by its leaders. The industry statistical records show that the country has been battling with the worst economic decline in almost 4 decades. Nigeria's political process is highly commercialized and monetized, which means that democratic election wins are sold to the highest bidder. And guess who has benefited most from this election? Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the chairman of ECOWAS. With this, combined with inflation, deteriorating security challenges, the Nigerian government, despite being one of the key drivers of ECOWAS, has a lot of challenges to contend with than spearheading a rescue mission to Niger, whose citizens have somehow backed the military intervention. And then there is Ghana. Ghana is another big figure among the West African countries rooting for military action against Nigerian junta, but successive democratic governments in the country haven't delivered the dividends of democracy to its teeming masses for years, and currently, it is safe to say that the country is broke. The Ghanaian government has been contending with a surging debt profile occasioned by weak accountability of the public treasury. In May this year, the government signed a $3 billion bailout program with the International Monetary Fund. But yet again, the country's president is one of the leading voices for ECOWAS military action. And then there is Ivory Coast. Despite being one of the world's leading cocoa and cashew producer, Ivory Coast or Cote d'Ivoire has had its own fair share of poor leadership. The country's president, Alassane Ouattara, had initially been constitutionally mandated to serve the maximum of 2-term limit, but the man had been ruling the country since December 2010, having succeeded in influencing the country's parliament to change the Ivorian constitution in his favor and make him run for both 3rd and 4th term. And almost 40% of the country's about 27 million people still languish below the national poverty line, while the country is drawing greater attention to democratic infringement of another sovereign country, while outlaws are feasting under his nose. With all this, it is clear that ECOWAS is bound to fail in their military intervention in Niger. Their failure to tackle insecurity and poverty in their respective countries and lack of funds to embark on these crazy feats is a clear indication. Like Niger Republic, other countries that we've talked about so far has remained under the siege of their own governments, amid the rapid efforts being developed by the ECOWAS defense chiefs to restore the deposed constitutionally order back in Niger. It is now clear that only good governance can preserve democracy in West African sub-region. So there you have it. Thanks for watching. Please do make sure you subscribe to our channel for more videos like this every day.